What is going on, you guys? It's Suspect here, bringing you guys a brand new YouTube video. Now, a lot of you guys, I like making these videos, but a lot of you guys don't like watching these videos. So, it's about competitive Call of Duty, majority of the time it is. So, if you guys don't like watching these types of videos, you could always click off. I got other content coming out that hopefully you guys will enjoy. But some of you guys actually do subscribe because of competitive Call of Duty, whether it's the montages, the talks, or gameplays. So, for you guys, you know how there's been a really big backlash in terms of, competitive players wanting to play Infinite Warfare for the year, and how there's a big outrage on people wanting to play Modern Warfare Remastered as the Call of Duty game, the competitive Call of Duty game for the year. And now Clayster made his own video addressing this situation as a pro player, and I'll leave his video in the description below in case you guys haven't watched it. But essentially, he was saying how we shouldn't backlash the game because it hasn't even been 2 weeks that it's been out. We're making our scene look really bad competitively, and that's because we're only the minority in the Call of Duty scene. And us backlashing it is, one, not going to help the developer help us in improving the game or making it better competitively. Second of all, it's going to make us look bad to the rest of the gaming communities that are out there, being CSGO or Dota or whatever the hell. And third of all, how we really shouldn't bash a game that hasn't been out for that long. So there is that. And of course, there are a bunch of pro players that have been bashing on the game for a while now, and it's just making the game look bad, and it's encouraging, their viewers and their followers to not want to watch or play the game. And it's not to, bash them out or anything, because you guys know here on the channel, I'm not an Optic fan. But, they're solid players, don't get me wrong. I'm just not a big Optic fan. But majority of the Optic guys, 3 out of the 4 from what I've seen, have been going off about it a lot on social media, and that's not helping. And a lot of people are tending to think like, oh, but if Optic says we don't have to play it, then, Call of Duty World League's not going to let that happen. But aside from that, what I feel is not so much towards Infinite Warfare. I placed out my opinions on the game already, and what's said is said. I think the game is half-assed. I think the game is bland, but it's not boring, yet it's not insanely fun, if that makes sense. So the whole shit with this is that, how can I put this? I'm more concerned about the fact of Modern Warfare Remastered being the competitive Call of Duty game for the year versus Infinite Warfare, and there's a whole lot of reasonings behind this. So let's say, for example, Modern Warfare Remastered is the competitive Call of Duty game for the year. We're playing a game that was competitive 8 years ago. Think about that for a second. That to me seems a little bit whack, in my personal opinion. Sure, no one wants innovative wall running, jetpacks, none of that stuff, but I feel like that is way more interesting to watch competitively versus Modern Warfare Remastered, which is a game that's been out for 8 years already. And aside from that, there's no new strategy. Players like Crim6 and JCap who've been playing, or Clayster that have been playing this game since it came out competitively, or even touched it competitively in their past, they're just going to be using the same strategies as always. Eventually people are going to catch on to those, and because there's no innovation into the game, just long lines of sight, quick pre-snipe spots and pre-nades up the ass in that game, there's not going to be any strategy into that game. It's just going to be the same old spots, same old kills, same old line of sights every single time. This is my opinion through the spectator point of view. Now, if you're a player, now you got to learn these spots, and if you don't know these spots, you're at a huge disadvantage because practically everyone else is going to know them, and it's just a matter of who can get to a certain spot first and kill that person off first, or pre-nade them first, or it's just going to be a delayed push, and then you're going to give the other team map control because you're waiting on their pre-nades to come out first before you can push up. It's just going to be the same thing over and over and over again. It's going to be really boring and really bland, and it's just a race against who can make it to a certain spot or pre-nade spot first, or a long line of sight first, which I think is kind of whack. Whereas in Infinite Warfare, yes, you got the jetpacks, you got the wall running and stuff, but that brings innovation, that brings more strategy into the game. And like I said, this game's been out for 8 years already, and if you're going to play a game that's been out for 8 years already, a lot of people are going to know what the hell they're going to want to do, assuming that they've been playing Call of Duty 4 for this entire time. Now, it may be rare that someone has, but it's definitely possible that someone's been playing Modern Warfare since, the game came out up until now. I'm just saying, it could be very much possible. Now, secondly, let's say that Infinite Warfare is a competitive Call of Duty game for the year, and so is Modern Warfare Remastered, but all the pros and everything are Modern Warfare Remastered. This is just me hypothetically speaking. You guys don't have to agree with me. You guys can think I'm whack. Leave your comments in the comment section below, of course. But if pro players were to be playing Modern Warfare Remastered and Infinite Warfare is still with the CWL or whoever it is they are, sure, some pro players will stay because more money will be involved. Let's just hope in this assumption that there is. You know, there's going to be more of a rise on amateur players, which is not a bad thing. That's a pretty, you know, it's a pretty solid, you know, uprising in amateur players if this were to happen. I just thought about this, like I said. You guys can think I'm whack. But there'd be a huge rise in amateur players. Of course, they'd be playing Infinite Warfare and everything. But then the second that next Call of Duty game comes out, pro players are going to come back to it, assuming that they like the game. And then the amateur players might just get shit on because of the fact that these pro players, they haven't even shown up. So then these amateur players haven't even gotten a real chance to play real opponents. You know, like these guys, like Clayster, JCap, Crimstick, Scump, like veterans of the competitive scene. And that's just my opinion on that, which is another thing. More than anything, I just feel like Modern Warfare Remastered should not be played as a Call of Duty game. The competitive Call of Duty game for the year. I ran a Twitter poll, actually. A lot of you guys actually agree that Modern Warfare Remastered should be the competitive Call of Duty game for the year, but I don't think so. It just doesn't bring any innovation. It's old strats that people are just going to be bringing back. Long lines of sights, pre-nades, pre-snipes, all this stuff, and it's just a matter of who can get to a certain spot first. It's going to be very boring to play, very boring and bland to watch, and you know, and then my biggest concern for the game is that this is a very nostalgic game. Everyone loves Modern Warfare Remastered. Well, not everyone, you know, but a vast majority of us love Modern Warfare Remastered, and even more of us love Modern Warfare Remastered more than Infinite Warfare. But what happens when you make this game competitively? Well, what happens to a competitive game whenever it is competitive? Let's look at it. Let's look at the VMP, for example. The great old VMP from Black Ops 3. What has that thing gotten 2 or 3 times throughout the game's lifespan? A nerf. The gun has gotten a nerf. What happened to the Brecci on UMB? On UMG? It got banned. What else was there? Like the FAL from Black Ops 2. Overpowered when you have full auto. They banned the full auto. Then eventually they just banned the gun in its entirety because it wouldn't get nerfed. So, if I'm making myself clear, it's that eventually some guns and some perks might want to get nerfed or banned, and that's gonna piss off people in the community. You are one bursting people with the M16 across the map with stopping power, and don't you dare say you've never one bulleted someone with the MP5 up close with stopping power. So either stopping power is gonna get banned, which people are gonna get really mad at, and then Juggernaut's gonna be in place, or vice versa. There's gonna be this huge controversy about whether stopping power or Juggernaut gets banned. But there might be nerfs to guns such as the MP5 or the M16, or they're gonna nerf, or they're gonna ban the M16 or nerf the MP5. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like, there are gonna be changes to a nostalgic game, which is something you don't want to do to a remaster. At that point, this is just like I don't even know what the word would be. It's not even a remastered game anymore. It's just the fact that you're messing with a nostalgic game that no one wants you to mess with, and if you ban or nerf something, much less add supply drops from what I'm hearing already, you're gonna piss people off, and they're not gonna be enjoying the game, they're not gonna support you for it, and you're just gonna ruin Call of Duty in its entirety. My personal opinion is if supply drops come into the game, cosmetics only. They can do all that bullshit they want in Infinite Warfare. I don't give a shit because it was in Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3. We're pretty much used to it. But for a game we all know and love, leave it the way it is. And if it's going to be competitive, don't fuck with any of the stuff because you're going to piss the community off, because then it's not nostalgic anymore. It's not how they remember, and it's going to be full of crap in this case. So that to me is just my personal opinion about it, guys. You guys can go ahead and leave your own opinions in the comment section below. If you guys want to tweet at me or DM me about this stuff, I'm always down to talk competitive Call of Duty. It's great. So, and I'm sorry about me coming off as if it was a rant. It kind of is, but it's just I'm very passionate about this stuff. And I just want you guys to, you know, pretty much know it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. In case you guys did, make sure to leave a like, rating, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.